The big question is now, are you a rocket man? Yay! So there we got the heel of the bullet.
Yep.
So this was a special match.
Yep. There it went.
Yeah. Yeah, look, there's the, see the dimple on the back? That's the rocket tail.
Old rocket tail.
Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we're looking at the Norma XTREME 22 long rifle ammunition. Now, this is brand new. It has just hit the market, and we got some in to test today, and I don't think that you're going to want to miss this. Now, we're talking about long-range 22 long rifle, and it's very important that we talk about some of the things that are going to be important to successful long-range shooting with 22 long rifle. So if you're not familiar, muzzle velocity is measured by a chronograph, and there are several important factors to that, being SD and ES. Now, SD is standard deviation, and that's the deviation shot to shot. So typically in around $15 a box match ammunition, you will find good ammo that's going to be around 6 to 8 feet per second standard deviation. ES is extreme spread, and it's going to be the difference between the minimum and the maximum of that string that you're shooting across the chronograph. Now, typically I like to see numbers lower than 20 for this, but it can vary discipline to discipline and exactly what you're trying to do. But with long range consistency, the smaller those numbers, the better. Now, another very important factor to this is BC. That is a number assigned to a projectile based on basically how well it flies through the air. And there's lots of things that go into that. The weight, the length, sectional density, overall profile of the bullet. It is a lot of numbers made by people who are much smarter than me to basically assign a number to a bullet so that you can compare projectiles to how well they fly or how well they cut through the air. Now, that number is important because it's going to determine how well the bullet flies, so basically how much drop it's going to have relative to muzzle velocity and how good that it's going to buck the wind. So you might be wondering why I have 2 boxes of ammunition out here today, and that is because we are using RWS Special Match as a control. Now, this costs around $15 a box, and the new Norma cost anywhere from $20 to $25. Now, I picked the $15 box ammunition and RWS Special Match specifically because both of these are actually made by RWS, and I find that a lot of people who are serious about competitions are shooting $15 box ammunition, and it usually yields pretty good results. So we're talking RWS Special Match, Ely Match, and Lapua Center X. So across those ammunitions, I always expect to see 6 to 8 feet per second standard deviation, very good accuracy, and a low extreme spread. So I'm not going to lie to you, today the conditions are not ideal at all. It is windy off and on, it's right at freezing, and I was going to hold off to a better wind day, but I thought this is supposed to do better in the wind. It's supposed to be a better long range cartridge, and we don't get to pick when we go out and shoot matches. We're in those conditions when we have to go and compete. So we will use the RWS Special Match as a control at $15 a box, and we will compare the new Norma XTREME to it on every basis. We're going to be looking at muzzle velocity, extreme spread, SD. We have the FX True Ballistics, so we're even going to be measuring the BC of these, and then of course groups, because I know you guys want to see it, but I wanted to get that out of the way and make sure we had a very good understanding of what was going on here, the realistic expectations of today. You are not going to see teeny tiny groups at 100 and 150 yards. It's not going to happen on a day like today, but we can use those groups to make a determination on how competitive this is, if this lives up to its hype, and if it's really going to be a game changer or just another gimmick. So I think everybody should be caught up to this point on exactly how we're going to be testing. We're shooting groups at 50, 100, and 150, and we're measuring all the things we talked about. And to make sure this isn't biased, we're shooting 2 different rifles. I invited my buddy Len over with his Rimex, which absolutely loves RWS ammunition, and both these should fall in that boat. We're also going to shoot my CZ, which isn't really a big fan of RWS ammunition. It tends to like Ely and Lapua more than RWS in the barrel it has, so I think that's going to make this even more fair. So before we head out and shoot those groups, I want to take a moment to thank our channel sponsors, Utah Air Guns. If you're into this long range shooting, precision rifle shooting, they have a ton of precision rifle accessories and of course a bunch of air gun stuff. So do us a favor, go check them out. We appreciate them supporting the channel, and I would appreciate it if you went over there and gave them a shot. But enough of that, let's get out to the range, let's get shooting. All right, so we're gonna have Len shoot the top left square of targets. So just shoot the RWS special match at the top two on the left. And then we'll go to the Norma XTREME for the bottom two on the left. Well, I mean, that's what the lot test and special match will get you. All right, so Len was shooting his, he shot his special match, I'm shooting mine. The difference is Len is kind of has a lot tested special match. This is not a gun that I would normally shoot it with. So we're kind of doing this so that we can get lot tested special match and then not lot tested. So I don't know what this is gonna shoot. And then we're both obviously shooting the Norma XTREME, and it's a lot faster, about 1140 for Len. So I'm gonna shoot my groups here. And this is a special match. We'll see how it does. Ooh, winged one. Well, definitely not as good as the lot tested special match, but probably looking at 0.3, somewhere around there. But see how this goes. So I was shooting around 1090 with the other one. We're gonna drop down and see how the old rocket tail does. Oof. Yow. It is faster. Jeez Louise. So you guys aren't gonna be able to pick the screen up through the camera. We just don't have enough cameras out here. I took a picture of it, but the BC was 0.145 on a G1, so I'm gonna reset this, and now we're gonna move over to the XTREME, see what we do. The BC, I think, is, well, it was 0.1 what?
It's lower.
It's lower. So interestingly enough, the SD, which I thought was gonna be bad, was pretty good. They're about the same from his lot tested RWS special match to the Norma XTREME, but the BC was lower. I was not expecting that at all. You know, we're kind of all learning this at the same time. I'm gonna make a best guess here. It is cold. Not bad, but not fantastic. Well, it shot a better first group than the special match did. I'm not surprised though, because This gun seems to hate that a lot of special match. And again, lower BC, which is, I have no idea why or how. The BC should be higher. The interesting part, we'll see if, you know, this Extreme with a better BC and rocket tail doesn't handle the wind better. We're getting a pretty significant left to right right now. It's off and on.
Come left about 2.
Let that rocket tail go.
Rocket tail.
All right, so surprisingly, the BC did creep up on that last one. I mean, it's been consistently like 145 on the special match and then 1.3s on the rocket tail Norma Extreme, but it did come up to about like 142. But it is interesting that it doesn't appear to be better. I was anticipating this would be just flat out better. So you shot at the
Top 3 in the bottom left.
right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this aim low. I do have a KYL in the way, so I'm going to drop this down 3/10 and I'm going to shoot at the same top pacers. We're just going to let this group fall below it. So let's see what we get. I think the hole's behind the KYL where I can't see it. Luckily, you guys are seeing this real time. So BC's looking good. We're gonna go to the middle target. Huh. It decides it wants to shoot at 150. Take a picture of this, but BC 150. All right, we're gonna try and find a clean spot. You know, kind of a bad on me for setting this up, kind of dumb. Let's see. What I'm gonna do is actually drop this down about a 1/2 mil, and I'm gonna aim at the right. And we're just gonna let these all stack in the same spot. So I'm aiming at the right pacer, and it should hit several inches low. And yeah, I'm shooting this fast, but the wind is down, so I'm trying to give this the best chance. It's like absolutely no wind for the first time right now. I think that's it. That's it, 10 rounds. So that had no wind. I mean, that was the best chance it can get. And from what I could see, you know, 150 yards this way, not that crazy good. BC dropped way off. So now that we're back inside, we have a lot to unpack from what we just saw happen. We saw some groups that were pretty good at 50, at 100. They were getting kind of dicey. It is a windy day today, and those groups are going to be affected by it, whether we like it or not, with 22 long rifle, and then again at 150 yards. And as you can see there, I think overall we can say that the special match did perform maybe better or as good as the Norma 22 XTREME ammunition. And there's lots of other information that we can pull out of this, and I'm not going to give you a recommendation either way. I want you guys to review what we did, consider all the variables, consider all the data, and make your own informed decision. We didn't shoot this at 300, 400, and 500 yards today, but groups do not reconverge. So groups just get wider and wider and wider. So the groups at 50, 100, and 150 are going to be representative of what you're going to see at further distance. And really, SD, ES, and the BC are going to play huge factors in long-range success when you're trying to get out there at 300, 400, and 500 yards. So what we saw was relatively the same SD and ES as the special match. So we're getting about $15 box performance out of the SD and ES. And now, yes, that can change gun to gun, but I think you will have seen that we shot relatively the same numbers across both the RimX of Lens and my CZ. Now, the big surprise for me was the BC, that the Norma XTREME was measuring a lower BC consistently, and a lot of times we were getting the exact same BC numbers across two different rifles. I was expecting to see better BC out of this because it is a little bit longer bullet. I'm not sure how it's not better, but I think we also see that in the targets as well. It really didn't seem like it was fighting off the wind any better than the special match, and obviously my CZ didn't shoot outstanding groups with the special match. It never really has, but I thought it was important to include that because we weren't showing a gun that just absolutely hammers some $15 box ammo and pitting it against an unknown $20 to $25 box in ammo. I would say it shot them about the same, not great. Now again, guys, this was two rifles out to 150 yards. Maybe I'll do another video where I shoot it out at 300. Personally, looking at everything we saw today between myself and Len with all the data, I really don't see a big advantage to this ammunition to, say, the current match ammunition that's already available on the market right now. And I say that with also knowing 100% there will be some of you guys out there who will test this Norma XTREME ammo and your gun will really like it, and I'm sure you will find great success with it. But I think for the vast majority of people, you're going to find yourself in the same boat we are, and just based on data, not my feelings about it, even if we take away the groups, just purely based on the data, it was the same on SD and ES as the $15 box ammo, and the BC was worse. That information alone would have me stick with the special match or my Ely match or my Center X. And like all other rimfire stuff, there are a ton of variables, there are exceptions to the rule. So I am not going to say that one is better than the other. That's going to be for you to decide. If you want to see more testing on this, we can try and go out to a little further distance and make something work. I'm willing to throw another rifle in the ring with this ammunition, give it the benefit of the doubt, and try and make something spectacular happen. But personally, I just don't see it. But I appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one.